Hello, everybody. We're looking beautiful. We got Ford's new camera set up. Everything is great. Ford, if you want to show the people your shirt, because we have some news.
Hold on. First, I gotta mute. I just realized the stream was playing up. Like, why am I hearing you twice? But I just gotta take a second. Damn, that camera actually does look significantly better.
Really
Holy
good.
Crap! I look uncannily clear.
Yeah, it's really good.
But yeah, I got the Blitzcrank shirt on today. Oh, microphone in the way. That way? Nope. Other way. Now Fjord's in the way.
Yeah. It says Hook City, and it's a Blitzcrank shirt. We do have some League of Legends news today.
We do. And then it's got the ha 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 down the arm.
So you said something about Arcane Season 2. Was it just an announcement? I must have missed that, but I do know there is some league news.
Yeah, Arcane Season 2, they did. Also, yes, good afternoon, everybody. Arcane News was previously just put out like some brief teasers. One confirming, I mean, they kind of confirmed it at the end of Season 1, but confirming Warwick. So Warwick will be showing up. So you see Singed with like Warwick hanging up in basically the rafters, looking all beastly. He looks really good in Arcane right now. That's really the only major news they had. They had like a couple little stints, and then they also announced that I don't remember her first name, but the Medarda, the mom from Noxus, she is coming to League of Legends, which still shocked like we haven't gotten like Silco or something in League of Legends.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten Silco first.
Yeah, because we got him in
that's probably why TFT.
Yeah, we got him in TFT for like a set, I think, maybe two, and I thought for sure that meant that we were going to get him in League pretty soon after, but nope, nothing yet.
Yeah.
So Arcane.
That is kind of what's up to come. Or I guess there's not too much more beyond that. Besides that's just kind of the Arcane news. But I do want to ask, what'd you play this week?
What did I play this week? I will be 100% honest with you. I did not play a ton this week. It was a very, very busy week for me. I had a lot of stuff to get done work-wise and everything. Honestly, spent most of my week listening to audiobooks while I was working.
Love that.
So I finished like 3 books in like 5 days, which is awesome. It means I'm very much on track for my my goal this year of reading 30 books. But as far as playing, I did boot up that old Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
You'll love to hear it.
Play some of it. I got to the Rito Village. The funny thing is I loaded in and I went to my quest and I'm like, why is it not showing me where like the Rito villages and everything is? Turns out I never talked to Purah again after you go up the tower for her to tell you to go check out those places. So I had to go back and find her, and then she directed me to go to all the places.
Not gonna lie, I did the same thing, but I didn't get the glider. So I dropped down and I was like, time to explore the world, and I didn't realize I had to go talk to Purah to get my glider and all that stuff. Yep. So the first like 30 minutes I was running around without a glider, and I'm like, oh, I should probably go get that.
Am I gonna get that? That'd be weird for them to take out in this game, right? But yeah, so I got to the Rito Village. One thing I really liked how the regions, obviously the regions have changed a little bit and everything. Rito Village is all blizzarded over. And so I liked that they had kind of a snowy level font to the Rito Village song. I thought that was kind of cool. Looking back at, or it's just an interesting way of showing how changes happened. I love when audio matches the visuals to elicit
absolutely.
Change.
A small side note to that is like one of my favorite levels in Banjo-Kazooie was the Four Seasons level, where there's like you go through the seasons and every I'm not the music guy here at the podcast, but every like melody is the exact same, but the tone shifts and you feel one is a winter tone and then there's an autumn tone, and then there's a summer like vibe where it's a little bit more upbeat but same melody. It's very, very interesting how it ties into the art of gaming, and that's one of my favorite things. So the fact that you pointed that out with the Rito Village is really cool.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie, man, they were ahead of the game. Grant Kirkhope, my guy.
I mean, he's incredible.
He's incredible. Man, I talked to somebody the other day who was a Grant Kirkhope hater. I couldn't believe it.
It doesn't even make sense.
I didn't think they existed.
It's not real. Let's be real.
Trader.
They're not real.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, other than that, that's really the main thing that I played. Other than, I logged into Destiny here and there to like knock out a thing or two. I did spend many times looking at my Steam library, kind of trying to decide what I want to play. I'm kind of in this weird mood right now where we don't have anything coming out for at least another like
couple week and a half.
Yeah. Like Prince of Persia, I think it's the 18th or something like that. So like
18th.
Week and a half.
15th is the demo, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. And so once that comes out, all in on that. But otherwise, I've kind of been like just looking at my Steam library, being like, what do I want to finish? Because I've got tons of games that I've started, but I haven't finished a lot of them. And so I'm trying to decide which ones I want to try to knock out before we really get into February. Because once February hits, I feel like it's over for me. I mean, Persona 3 Reload alone is going to take up a huge amount of my time. And so I think I'm still slowly churning through Avatar, so I don't think I want to rush through that. That's kind of my nice, relaxing game. But I definitely want to beat Sea of Stars. I know you're getting back into that next week, and I think I'm going to try to do the same because I want to.
That should be first and foremost for me. I should have that beat. Hopefully, it's not too long, and I should have it beat by the time we start Prince of Persia.
Out of curiosity, I don't think I ever looked up the how long to beat for Sea of Stars. I think I'm close to the end, but I'm gonna probably look it up right now. It's gonna be like, oh, and it's a 40-hour game.
Probably about 25.
28 for main story is what it says.
He knows 30, it, folks.
34 with side stuff. So yeah, you were about right on the money.
But with me acting out every single scene and not reading it in my head and being a slower reader, I might be looking at that 40-hour mark. But
yeah, I feel like every time I look up how long to beats, I'm always like the longer end of the spectrum.
For sure. Speaking of Sea of something, what I've been dabbling into this week is a little bit of Sea of Thieves.
I've seen that. Yeah. Tell me about it.
I am addicted. And I'll tell you a couple reasons why. First and foremost, the game is amazing. Rare did such a fantastic job at this game. And every time I play it, I realize why I love it so much. Like, I didn't play it for a year or two. Maybe 2 years I haven't played this game. But I always leave it installed just in case the boys want to hop on. And recently I've gotten the boys to want to hop on. And it's all cosmetics, so it's never really anything too... that we're grinding for too much. It's always the experience. Like, the guys do want to get these big 8 mil cash grabs that we have in the game for gold and stuff, but we do get a lot of experience. That's the second reason. It's the main reason. Like, the game is just good, but it's a game that's solely about experiences, and that, in my opinion, is what the heart of games should be. And I feel like a lot of times I lose. Now, like, I feel like some competitive games, you can have that story element to it, right? You play a game of League of Legends and you're like, oh, I didn't do so well in lane, but I ganked bottom and then we started to come back, but they got dragon and then we got baron. And then it turns, and there's a story to every League of Legends game, right? Or any competitive game. There's always a story to how the game is playing out, especially if it's close. I feel like Sea of Thieves embodies that so well. And that's what we kind of need to look back into on games of like getting an experience. Cause like, I can tell you, hey, we played Sea of Thieves and we got 100,000 gold plunder. That doesn't mean much. But if I tell you, we got on and we said we're not doing any PvP, but we rolled by and people were asking for our help, and then they got on our ship and they tried to betray us, and then we killed them, and then we powder kegged them, and then we go to the nearest fort, but that fort was already being done by somebody, so then we roll up on them and we shoot some cannonballs at them, and they try to sink us, they sink us, and then we come back to revenge, and then we sink them, and they come back for revenge, and like, there's just this massive storytelling that goes with every session. And I mean, you could get a Kraken in the middle of a storm on top of PvP battling and all this kinds of stuff. It really gives that experience that a game, in my opinion, should have. And I always feel like just a kid just so giddy on Christmas to play this game. And they've made the perfect changes. Like within the last few months, I didn't realize it was this recent, but I've looked it up. Within the last few months, a lot of quality of life changes that they've made, and it makes it so much better, adding guilds, etc. So that's my experience with that game. It's just so fun.
You know, you're the first person, because I've ran into many Sea of Thievers in my time, you know, thievies, if you want to call them, you know. And I always kind of ask him, like, so what's the, like, what is it about it? Because I knew that it was only cosmetics. It's not like you're going for like a power grind. It's not like there's like a raid to do at the end of the rainbow or anything like that. And none of them have been really able to tell me. But I think you succinctly tied it up right there, where it's the experience of it. And I think I can relate to that more now than I maybe could have previously because of games like Lethal Company.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Because I feel like Lethal Company is the same thing, where it's
same
like,
concept.
Yeah, you're trying to hit quota, but like it's really about the experience of each time you go in. Who's gonna get killed? Is it the flower guy? Is it like this person? You know, all this kind of stuff. And I feel like up until Lethal Company, those types of games I didn't vibe with as much, or like there was never one that really hit with me. But I get it now. I get it. Sometimes that experience with friends is all you kind of need to really. I mean,
that's ultimately that is what we play games for, right? A time distraction, a mental distraction, and a good time. We're just trying to kind of exist in the moment and just kind of spend our time joyfully. And I feel like that does get lost a little bit. Not always. I mean, we're all enjoying games that we play, you know. But in a game where there's co-op and PvP, you might not get that full storytelling experience, or at least you might not accept it, I guess is the best way to say it. But like every session of Sea of Thieves is different. And like last night, we literally said, well, let's not throw on a Reaper flag. A Reaper flag, for those of you who don't know, is basically when you mark yourself in the Reaper emissary, it marks you on the map for everyone to see, basically saying, square up. It's time to fucking, it's time to fight. And so we were like, let's not do that. Because we're not ready to fight. We just want to get a couple cash grabs and move on. Well, what had happened was we flew the Gold Hoarders emissary flag, which doesn't do anything but give us bonus gold. So we started there's a PvP quest called the Siren Skull quest or something like that. And basically what the quest is they give you a map. It gives everyone on the map, everyone that's on the server, it tells them if they accept the quest, that there's a key on this island and a treasure chest on this island. Once, like let's say it was you're on the server and I'm on the server, we're separate people. You can go grab the key. Now you're marked on the map because you hold the key. And now I can go grab the chest. Now I have the chest. So we need each other. So we can either party up and parlay and be like, hey, we'll split it a little bit if we do an alliance, or last man standing. If I kill you, I get the key. If you kill me, you get the chest. And once the chest is opened, you open it to the Siren Skull. Now, this skull is worth 50,000 gold ones, and it is very quick 50k. It's probably one of the fastest 50ks you can get in the game. But again, it keeps you marked on the map as long as you have it on your boat, and it marks the island that you have to go to sell it. So the island that you have to go to sell it, everyone can see it. So even not only on the map can they see it glowing purple and blue, but if they look off into the horizon, it's glowing purple and blue swirls all over the place. So
that's cool.
It's like people could just be camping it, waiting for you to turn it in. They could kill you, take it, and turn it in for themselves. And then one of the things I've tried to learn to hold on to recently is one of the phrases is your loot is not yours until you sell it. And so that's how it is. And so we said in our journeys, we were like, we're not going to PvP flag. Well, ends up someone grabbed the key. And then we saw another team grab normally we're uncontested. We'll grab the key. We'll grab this chest. We'll go turn it in. No one contests us. But this time we didn't PvP mark. We go for it. Someone already grabbed the key. So we see it on the map, start moving towards the seas. And then we see the chest start moving. And I'm like, oh crap. And then we see a naval battle in the distance. So we're coming into a third party, if you will. So they're fighting. One person wins. Then we chase down the person that won and we sink them. And they called us some slurs, and then we went, and so it's always fun to PvP, but that was an adventure like that. And I don't want to go too on to, because we had so many adventures this past week, but I almost want to record some of these, because every single game session is an experience. There's a story to be told. So there's that. That's all I've really played besides League of Legends, and I need to get back into Destiny. So you keep reminding me every week that I'm skipping a week. So I do need to get back into the story and do my weeklies.
There's not a huge rush right now. You got what, 6 months right now until
fair.
Final shape.
Fair, but I do need to keep. I like to keep maintenance, if you will.
That's fair. That's kind of what I do too. I try to at least get on like hour or two a week, bare minimum, to
Right.
at least get a couple of things done here or there, play with some friends, check in with the clan, all that kind of good stuff. So I definitely understand.
Okay. But that's all I've really played.
Yeah, I'm excited to play a lot more though, which I feel kind of actually leads into our little backlog talk. So what games do you feel like you've missed from the past, let's say past 2 years, that you're like, man, I really need to get back to that. I really need to beat that. That's what I've been dealing with a lot, where I keep on looking at, like, even just last year, like all the like game of the year style games and everything that got released, and even like the non-game of the year style games that got released. There's so many of them that I want to catch up on.
Right.
And I'm starting to reach a point where I have to like accept that I'm never going to play all these games. So I'm starting to be a little bit more particular in what exactly I decide to go for.
If you already have what you want to go into, you can go into it. I'm going to look through my Steam list and I'll let you know.
Okay.
If you have a list already ready.
I mean, I don't have a necessarily a list.
We can just do 3 each or something.
I'm going to do one that's a series. And that is the Yakuza series.
Interesting. That's not what I thought you were going to say.
I've had a couple of these games in my library for a while, and I like every single person. I've never met somebody who's played a Yakuza game and not become obsessed with it.
Right.
And so I feel like it is a franchise that I really want to play, especially since, like, you know, the entire games can be played in either Japanese or English voice castings, and people say Japanese voice casting is like some of the best. And since I'm learning Japanese, I'm like, cool, that's an awesome opportunity for me to kind of like start
kind of embody that. Yeah, I love that.
Exactly. And then also, like I said, just every clip I've ever seen, every person I've ever seen play it, always just seems like they're just having the grandest time playing these games. And so I think this is the year where I think I finally dive into the Yakuza games. I don't know. I need to talk to some people and see like where to start, because there's like a billion of these freaking games. So I got to figure out where to start. I mean, we literally have a new Yakuza game coming out this month, Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And so these games are coming out all the time. I think practically almost yearly at this point. So I gotta talk to some people and figure out which one I should start with. So if you're listening right now, hit me up. Let me know, which one should I start with?
There you go.
All right. What about you? Yours on the list.
Okay, so I have a couple, but I'll start with one as well, because yours was a series, so I'll just count that as one. Here's one that I bought for so cheap, and I've never actually played it, but I have watched all of the playthroughs you could possibly play. Now, I don't remember them, but what I watched was really fun. It's a very good story, and it is one of the most popular games of all time, but I've just never played it. And I got it for like $1. So it is Undertale.
Right. Okay. I was like, what could have been $1? That makes sense.
It was on sale for like $2, and I was like, I cannot pass this up, because even if I never play it, I have to own this game, or at least give Toby my money, because God damn it, if Toby did not make a great game.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team that works with him, but man, I can say that and I know that it's a little overrated at this point, but Megalovania, the final song, everybody knows that song. That song is probably, I would say, one of, if not the best boss fights, especially in the 8-bit chiptunes type, or the 8-bit style. I am addicted to that song. It is so good. I know it's like it's kind of been memed here and there, but like that song is incredible. And the gameplay looks amazing in terms of like something that I would like, because it's very what do you want to call, like bullet helly, in terms of like when you dodge stuff, because it's turn-based, but they throw you into that bullet hell style game, and I adore that. I think that's such a unique way to take turn-based games, and it's not, you don't always want to fight. A lot of the times, Pacifist Run is a massive run in the game. It's like that's one of the biggest turning points of like realizing you don't have to kill everything. It kind of embodies like humans are the monsters kind of deal, or whatever. Very good message. I've never played it. I've watched it played through, and it's just, it sells me, and so I would like to get into it this year.
That's awesome. Honestly, I won't, but I could almost take that one as one of mine too, because that's one of my what do they call it uh when it's like an embarrassing thing that you haven't experienced? Like if I was like, oh, I've never seen Lord of the Rings, like you're guilty, not guilty pleasure. God, why can I not think right
I
now?
can't think of it either. I was thinking of like the white horse or something that you were chasing, but it's not that.
Yeah, so,
I know what you're talking about though.
but yeah, something along those lines where it's like it's one of those ones where it's like, man, I should have played that already. Especially being the quote unquote gamer that I am, I feel like that's like gotta be in my
Right.
list of games to play.
There's certain games that just have to be on that list, and if it's not, it's like, wait, who are you again? So I feel the same way.
So I think
my next one on my list, I'll let you go, but my next one on my list is that same feeling.
Okay, I'm excited for that then. For me, my next one, I think I'll take it from last year. Baldur's Gate. I feel like I gotta play Baldur's Gate. I gotta beat it, and I gotta like really give it the entire playthrough. Seeing that it is,
it did get Game of the Year.
It did get Game of the Year.
We deserve it as much as it deserves us at this point. We got to play it.
I know, and it's just, it's so hard because if I was still like, you know, late teens, early 20s when I just had time to spare, oh yeah, I totally could sink, you know, 7-8 hours a day into this thing. No
Absolutely.
problem. But man, whenever I see a game that's like, oh yeah, it's easily over 100 hours, I'm like, ugh. When am I gonna find the time? How am I gonna figure out?
It's hard to think about it from that perspective of like one chunk, you know, versus like, I could play an hour a week or 2 hours a week, and you'll finish it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, if I only played an hour a week, that's still 2 years of life.
Well, that's unrealistic. No one's playing a game for an hour a week, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Break it up into segments.
Yeah, break it up into segments. I mean, that's really what I feel like I need to do is just be like, I'm going to commit at least a little bit of time to it, kind of have that be my RPG for the week. Because I feel like no other RPG that has come out has gotten as much praise since basically Mass Effect that I can think of.
And even then, Mass Effect is violently different, or vehemently different. It's so different than Baldur's Gate. So it's like they're not even comparable, I feel like, almost, you know?
Yeah. And Mass Effects are shorter. They're like 50 hours a piece instead.
Right.
So I get 3 games for 150 hours instead of just 1 game. But yeah, I'm making a commitment that I am going to play Baldur's Gate. I am going to beat it. You know, am I going to be one of these people that's doing like multiple playthroughs?
Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, it would be nice, but again, I just...
Realistically, it's hard to call that.
Yeah, realistically, I mean, even just to find a 100+ hour playthrough right now and then be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do 3 more of those, there's just no way.
So my second one is probably about the same thing. So I'm with you. We're on this same talk.
All right, cool.
That wouldn't be the one that I was talking about, so I'll save that for later, but Baldur's Gate is also where I'm at with that. So I have only played it like 4 or 5 hours with Sirens, and I would love to play more. So I'm with you on that. I definitely need to play it, considering I'm the gamer. I'm the gamer boy, and I mean, we have a gaming podcast, and I haven't fully beaten the Game of the Year.
You know, that's as a side tangent. That is one other thing that I would love to do. Is I'd love to go back and play all of the Game of the Years since I think Game Awards technically started in like 2015. So I'd love to go back and play all of them from the Game Awards. I think I'm only missing like 2 or 3. Let me actually check. So is Baldur's Gate your second one?
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and chalk that up to being the second one. You can go back if you want. I mean, because I'm right there with you. I need to play it. It wasn't even on my list, but it's just because it's just not on my radar because it's so relatively new, because we were talking about older things. But I'm with you.
My other one is actually another one of these Game of the Years. I totally forgot about this, but let's see, 1 second. So I'll just go ahead and say my third one right now. Then Elden Ring, which I know is not your type of game, but I've generally enjoyed the Elden Ring games over or the Dark Souls-likes, whatever you want to call them, over the years. I've beaten most of them except for, I guess, Elden Ring, Sekiro, and Dark Souls 3. The rest I've beaten. So I've played about half of them, I'd say.
You know, I don't want to cut you off, but I cannot believe back to back we had the same ones.
Oh, is that yours?
That was going to be my surprise hit. And you're like, I know you don't really want to play this, but it's actually not true. I do want to get into it, but I don't think, first off, it's not a game that I can stream for two reasons. One, because I am too grumpy of a man to be playing that on stream. I know that's kind of content, but I start to not have fun. Like, streaming is fun to me, and getting mad is fun to me on stream, but not the way that game gets me mad, because I'm too critical of it, and I don't want to hurt people's feelings that this is like their favorite game of all time. However, it's also a hardware issue. It was very hard for me to stream because, like, I have a really good computer, but for some reason, streaming that game, it would drop a little bit, and even if it drops to 50 frames, I want my stream to look good. So if I can avoid playing a game that's too high end like that, then I will. But I do want to jump back into it because I keep watching gameplay and I'm like, this game looks so good. But every time I play it, I just get so grumpy and so angry that I cannot play it. I want to give it a shot, though, so I'm right there with you.
Do you feel like there's a way you could... So you get grumpy because obviously the game is punishing, I'm assuming, correct?
Do you want to have another 2-hour podcast? Because we're gonna do it. Let me just try to. I'll shrink it down for you.
There's no news this week, so go off, King.
We'll make it a little bit digestible, and so I don't take too much of, because this was your game too. So it's not because it's too difficult. It's because it's arbitrarily difficult. Does that make sense? Now, I don't mean to discredit anyone who thinks that they made an accomplishment on a difficult game. It is a difficult game. If you beat it, congratulations, you're gamer boy or girl. You're gamer person.
Yeah, you are the gamer.
And that's great. And I love you for that. However, to say that because I can't beat the first boss whenever I got there immediately is like that you feel some prestige against me, not just me, anyone, right? I'm just using me as an example. Then you're not better than anybody else, and that's so annoying because everyone has this with any Souls-like game. A lot of people get this pompousness, and I don't mean even just people that I know. I'm talking Reddit, and I know Reddit's toxic. I get that, but like anywhere online, people are like, "You can't be mad because bad, can't beat it because this," and I'm like, "This isn't even a PV game. Why are you shooting at me? Why are you shots firing me? Like, what did I do?" And so. And I could be looking too far into it, but it also, my thing was, is like, the game guided me. This is how I see the very beginning of the game. The game guides me. My friend said, just follow the things and it'll kind of guide you to where you need to go. Now, obviously it's open world, so you can go wherever, but I went to like the first boss. I don't remember their names. But I went to the first boss and I got to halfway point after like 10 or so tries. Now, a lot of people are like, you're going to face the same boss hundreds of times. First off, not the kind of grind I want to do when you're losing. Now, in like something like RuneScape, I do play that and I do grind the same boss 600 times, but I'm killing them every time and I'm anticipating loot. Whereas this is like, you're just kind of beating that boss. Now, you could probably beat him multiple times, I don't know, but that's kind of not the point. The point is to get... So anyway, I get to the first boss, I get him halfway down, I get frustrated and people are like, well, you're just not geared up. And I'm like, but the game led me here. Why would it lead me there if it doesn't want me to fight it yet? It's like, well, you can fight it if you were good enough. And it's like, but it's arbitrary because, yeah, I can learn. I am okay with learning the patterns of the bosses. I mean, for God's sake, the game we met each other on was Cuphead.
Yes.
You know that I love Cuphead. I will learn those boss mechanics. I will learn these boss fights and all of these different timings and stuff. I'm for that. But for some reason, it feels different in Elden Ring. My character feels clunky. I don't like the concept of like iframing for everything. I don't feel like anything feels good when I do it. Now, when I watch other people play it, it does look good. So maybe I'm just not there yet and I got to give it a shot. Okay. But like, he was like, go around and find more gear, find more, like my friends were like, go around, find more gear, find more loot, blah, blah, blah. I found like 3 different sections of loot where loot should be. And there was nothing there that I wanted to use. Like people are like, okay, if you want to be a mage, you got to go find this thing. Well, I found a battle axe or something like that. I don't want to use a battle axe. I want to use mage. Why can't I play the game the way I want to play it? And so like there's a lot of these facets and I could go on forever. And it's just, the main issue is the arbitrary difficulty. Now, what would take me to go back to what you're saying, what would take me to not be that way is probably to eat an edible and just chill and play by myself. Maybe someone in the call to maybe guide me in the Discord call, but not stream it. Just relax with no pressure to entertain, no pressure to do nothing, just me in the game. I think I could do
That's
that.
fair. Because I think when it comes to Souls games, I do feel like when you stream them, it does invite like a certain type of dialogue. I feel like within
Your
the
mic.
stream. Oh, what's wrong?
You're good. It was just you sounded far away for some reason.
Oh, my bad.
You're good.
Oh, that's probably why. Okay. I think that is probably, yeah, it invites this dialogue within the stream. I feel like that is kind of backseaty in a way. Like a lot of people may not try to make it that way, but I feel like it eventually devolves into that because once they've watched you bang your head against this boss for 15, 20, whatever tries, then it kind of turns into, okay, well, you just need to go do this. You just need to go do this. You just need to go do this instead of letting you kind of just work through the process yourself. And so I think that's probably smart. I think not streaming it. I feel like it's good to stream Souls-like games if you know those things, like if it's like your 4th or 5th or 6th playthrough, you know those things front to back, where everything is. That way no one can really kind of backseat you too much on it.
I agree with that. And I also think that, because I do agree with that for sure, but there's also like this, like, I don't want the game to hold my hand because nothing could piss me off more than an extended tutorial. However, hold my hand a little bit. Like, let me know where I need to go. Because the game is like, oh, it's open world, you can go anywhere. But it's like, but the boss that I ran into was the first boss. If that is the first boss, is your game really open world? Yeah. That's how I see that. Because Zelda, and I hate to go back to this, but it is open world, and you can go anywhere. Because everyone always tells me, they're like, oh, they always push me towards the Rito village first. I disagree with that. I feel like the game always pushed me towards the Zora place first. And someone else told me that they went to the Death Mountain first. And so I'm like, you can literally go and do anything you want anytime. And the game does still hold your hand a little bit. It tells you where you can go, and then you can go to those places. And this game, it doesn't tell you shit. Maybe I'm misreading something. And I'm not going to lie, bro. I'm too stupid for that many menus. I'm not gonna lie, I love gaming, but the more I get, like, Baldur's Gate, which is fine, I can get used to it because at least Baldur's Gate is a little bit familiar because I watch a lot of D&D stuff. I don't necessarily play it, but I watch it. But Baldur's Gate, Total War, Warhammer, and Elden Ring, when I look and play games like that, I'm like, am I too dumb to play these games? My buddy, who is a little spacey. He's not dumb by any means. He's a very intelligent guy, but he gets a little spacey. He's very all over the place with his attention, right? He can play Total War Warhammer, and I'm sure you've seen that game. There's a billion screens, a billion different things you can do. He is really good at that game. And he's all over the place. And I'm like, how are you good at this game? This is the most intense UI I've ever seen. I had to actually refund it. I bought it to play with him. I played for 30 minutes, and then I had to immediately refund it. Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I think that in a way, I do think those Souls-like games, much like the Warhammer games, they're languages, essentially. They're languages unto their own. They speak to their audience in certain ways, and that audience understands whatever the way they're speaking to them in. It's the same way like how all the stats across all the Souls-like games, for the most part, do essentially the same thing. So people kind of already understand the language.
They're kind of, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they kind of understand what the game is telling them they can do.
That's fair, because this is my first one, so...
And I think that's why it becomes difficult, is because if you haven't played some of the other ones, I do feel like there's kind of a expected level of knowledge going into some of those games for you to at least get the maximum or semi-maximum efficiency in it.
Right.
You know, a lot of people's first Souls-like game was Elden Ring, and they kind of just banged their head against the wall until they kind of eventually got the skills they needed to move up in it, I imagine.
And I think that's why I need an edible to just bang my head against the wall without it hurting too much.
Turn brain off. Just don't even worry about it, essentially. Honestly, I think that's not a bad call. I've never even turned it on, so I definitely don't know exactly what I'm going to be up against, but I can't imagine it's going to be all that different from most Souls-like games. Once you played one, I don't want to necessarily say you've played them all, but in a way, you've at least played the basics.
Yeah, you got the experience. Yeah,
you've got
the From Software experience.
Yeah, and granted, who knows, open world Souls, like maybe it'll be like when they went open world Zelda, and maybe I'll just be like, this isn't what I want to play this game for. And so who knows, maybe
I still have a feeling that if you put more than 20 minutes into Zelda, that you're still going to love it.
Hey, I gave myself like an hour and a half, 2 hours this week. Thank you very much, sir.
I appreciate that. I was very happy to hear you say that. So I'm just teasing, but I am very, very, very ecstatic that when you sent me that picture, I was glowing with glee.
I mean, and hey, I'll be honest. I had a decent time. It wasn't the most amazing time. I'll be honest. I loaded in and I was in a shrine and I was like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. And so I was just like, instead of banging my head against this shrine, I'm just gonna leave and I'm gonna go do something else. And that ended up being the right call.
Good.
The crazy thing about our backlog games, other than your first one, Undertale's a short game. The other three we picked,
they're so like, massive.
They're like 100-hour games.
Yeah, that's true.
Man,
I do have a question for you.
I picked the franchise that's like probably like 1,000 hours.
Oh, for sure. The Yakuza series. Yeah. I think so. That's really all I have in terms of like single player games. I could look through and I could pick apart little things like Noida. I've never tried, but someone bought it for me. I want to play that, but those are like games that I can probably finish in a couple sittings. Or I mean, it's not finished. Noida, yeah. I think is actually more of a roguelike, but still, you get what I'm saying. I could pick apart some of these games that I haven't fully finished, but I do have a question for you then, unless you have more single player games.
No, I mean, those are kind of the big ones that are on my list. I mean, I have so many like indie games and stuff that I want to play.
For sure.
But those typically just kind of those fill in a lot of the gaps. So like between bigger releases, I'll squeeze in a 10 or 15 hour indie game, get what I need out of it, and then move on to the next big experience.
So to let the viewers know or the listeners know, this is going to be a little bit shorter of an episode because there's not a lot of news. So last week we went into what we are going to play this year or what we are looking forward to this year and what we're most likely going to play. And then this session so far has been what we plan to play, kind of like a backlog. Now, will I ever get to Elden Ring? I hope so, but maybe not, but we'll see. So we kind of got a backlog. So it was what we're wanting to play in the future coming up, and then what we want to play because they've been out for a while and we want to try them. And then I also want to ask you specifically, because I have two in mind, but I guess it doesn't have to be MMOs, but like, is there something that you want to play, but you know you won't play? Maybe, but you kind of you're interested in. Let me start by saying mine, so maybe you can get a feel of it. And I'm specifically talking about MMOs. So like, I've played a lot of New World. I loved that game when it first came out, and Lost Ark. I played a little bit of that. Probably 100 hours in Lost Ark, and maybe 500 or more hours in New World. Maybe a little bit, give or take. I don't know, but. Oh yeah, almost exactly 500 hours, 446 hours in New World. So, and I love that game a lot, but it kind of got stale. Now, there's a lot of recent updates that make it look like enticing, and I kind of want to go back, but I feel like I'm a little lost, so I probably won't actually get on and play. But I was wondering if there's any games like that for you that you probably know you won't play, but you're so interested that you kind of follow it still a little bit.
Oh man, that's a really good question. I mean, you bringing up MMOs brings two titles to mind. I'll kind of glance over them quickly, because they're both MMOs. One is Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMORPG. That is one that I've started many times. I played it way back when it first came out. I actually won a copy of it for free, like way back in the day. And so that is one that like everyone talks about that game and says that if you played certain paths in that MMO, it's essentially Knights of the Old Republic 3. And that's a huge selling point to me because I love the Knights of the Old Republic games. And I just love Star Wars in general. So that is one that I would always love to go back. I always see when they announce like expansions and stuff, and I'd love to go back and actually try to give it more of a shot. But really, the MMO that hunts me everywhere I go, and I see it, and I'm just like, man, it's Final Fantasy 14. I mean, being the Final Fantasy guy, which I have some news about that at the end of this stream, so stay tuned. But being the Final Fantasy guy, I always see the stuff in Final Fantasy 14. I see all the changes they made. I look at every expansion that comes out. I want to get into that game so badly, but it's one of those things where like you look at how long, even if I just want to, because you can kind of play those games single player. Like they've built the expansions to where you can kind of do it yourself. You'll miss out on a couple of things, like such as like the raids or something, but otherwise you can kind of go about your own way. And people say the story is still fantastic doing it that way. Even then, it's like a 500-hour game at this point because of all the expansions and all the other stuff you'd have to do. And it's just one of those games where I in my heart, I'm like, I want it. I want it so bad. I want to be into Final Fantasy 14. But then in my head, it's just like,
is it realistic? Yeah.
Is it realistic? Like, are you?
And that's kind of where I mean, you gave the perfect answers to that question. That's kind of where I was going, because I always got these games that, and you said it perfectly. You said it's chasing you. I kind of feel the same way. I feel like New World, it's always there. It's always ready for me to hop on it, but I just don't. Mm-hmm. So that is a good way to put it. Chasing you is a good one, because that's the exact answer that I wanted, because we always talk about these games we are going to play. And of course, I want to play Elden Ring, and I might not, but that's not the game that's really chasing me. It's just I know I should appreciate it because it was Game of the Year, and it was the Game of the Year for a reason. It was way above any other numbers that year. So, I mean, and even God of War was so good, but it was even 10 times bigger than God of War. You know, I mean, like in terms of like the votes and all that stuff. So yeah, that was a good answer. I appreciate that answer. That you gave me 2 separate MMOs, which is crazy.
And that's the thing. MMOs, I feel like, is like what always is chasing me, because a lot of my like late 2000s, early 2010s was nothing but MMOs, man. Guild Wars, World of Warcraft, Star Wars: The Old Republic. I was playing like these indie MMOs. I was downloading Korean MMOs and shit. Like, dude, I spent way too much time playing MMOs during that age. And nowadays it's just not possible. But with that being said, because of my whole Final Fantasy playthrough, one of the big reasons I did it is, one, I obviously love Final Fantasy and I want to play through that whole series and everything. But also one of them is, if I do this, I have to force myself. Like, that is my excuse to finally just break down the door and play Final Fantasy 14 and beat it as much as you can beat an MMO, obviously. And so
I think there could be a little bit of since it is an MMO, with your challenge, you might be able to rule bend a little bit.
I mean, basically, I would say I want to beat the stories of the expansions. Everybody, I've talked to a few players and everything, and they said there is very clear like endings to the story within the expansions.
For sure.
Like it's not like a vague, oh, it's kind of over, but we're going to introduce some more missions later. Like there's pretty sufficient. We are ending this expansion right here. And so I would basically want to beat all of those. And I would do the same thing in Final Fantasy 11, which is their other MMO, though granted that's not as expansive. Man, those 2 games are going to take a long time for me to beat when I eventually get to them. Oh, buddy, what have I signed myself up for? Yeah, those are the games that are chasing me. And now that I bring up the whole playing through series and stuff, maybe that's eventually what I'll do with Yakuza. Maybe when I do
Yakuza video essays.
Yeah, do the Yakuza in review and rank and review all the Yakuza games.
I love that. This is the side of Fjord I love. I love this.
Well, you'll be happy with my news at the end of the episode then.
Well, I mean, we can pretty much wrap it up here. I don't really have anything else unless you have other questions for me. I'm pretty much, I mean, we're newsed out until probably at least next week, or maybe, like you said, a couple more weeks. So I'm ready for whatever you got.
I've got a bit of it is news, but it is kind of like me being a little bit of a hater. This is the hater minute. All right. I need to be a hater for a second.
That's fine. We all get those minutes.
Did you see this dumb fucking dragon that League of Legends is releasing? Did you see the art for this thing?
For the listeners at home, I'm staring at the camera and I'm very upset at Fjord for saying this. I think he is adorable.
Are you kidding me, dude?
It's a bit
dumb. He looks so dumb. Let me. Oh my god. Okay, go. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm so sad that you said that. So first off, I'm the boy with the dragon tattoo. I am all in on dragons. So anything dragons, you're not gonna get me out of it. I love dragons, period. So we're gonna start there. Second off,
that's fine.
Second off, did you hear him? He's a cute little kid. And he wants to be this big Draconia, Drakthir, or whatever they're called in their lore. So his story is like they're going the Disney route, a little cheesy, but it's I eat that up. He's a little kid who look. Give me a kid character. First off, here I'll tell you this way: give me a kid character who has ambitions of becoming a bigger, better person. Oh, he's going to be a strong boy. Already love that. Then you make it a dragon. Dunzo, I'm in.
So look. I don't disagree on the theme.
Let me look at him again.
All that kind of stuff. But he looks so dumb, dude. Looking at all the other dragons that they have in the League of Legends like lore, I'm like, why does he look like this? Why does he look? He doesn't even have like a snout. He's just got like a flat face.
He hasn't grown into it yet. He's a kid.
I'm just saying they could have made him cute and still made him look like a dragon, not like whatever the fuck he looks like a little boy. He doesn't look like a dragon. He looks. I'm
gonna show this on screen.
It's like it looks like if they took Pinocchio's face and slapped it onto a dragon.
That is not true. It looks like Spyro, to be honest. It looks like the new version of Spyro.
No. Because see, Spyro looks like a dragon and is cute. This does not look like a dragon. Look at that face. That is not a dragon. That is a little boy. That is a little anime
I will
boy.
give you that. I will give you that.
The rest of the design, like the body and stuff, I'm fine with. It's the face. Wide. Literally, I swear to God. I'm
with you on the face a little bit. I'm with you on the face. I think it's the lack of the snout. I would see that. And the eyes. Right. It's the eyes.
And the funny thing is like they announced this guy and not even like 15 hours later, they showed off new changes they were doing to try to bring out more of the dragon features. So they knew. And so I just imagine somebody at Riot has their hand on a knob that says anime. And they're just looking at the crowd and slowly turning the knob, waiting for a reaction.
I think they just went, or anime is a good way to say it too, but they just went the Disney style because he's cute. He's like they're harking. I mean, look, we just got the new game. You know what I mean? They're playing into this Disney kid aesthetic, like kind of thing. And any kid with ambitions, they're like that's the type of stuff. I think he's adorable personally. I do see what you're saying. Here's one of the changes things I think, or at least I'm not going to show it on screen because I don't know what this is from. But either way, they give him a little bit more fur-ish or scales on his cheeks, and it looks a little bit better. I do see what you're saying, but I don't necessarily have a problem with it. Now, because you said flat out he looks stupid. I just added all of it together. Because like if he were let me tell you this. On Twitter, which is Twitter, give or take, whatever the fuck, Twitter sucks. But but on Twitter, I saw the comments and one guy was like, do they not know how to make monsters anymore or monster characters? First off, he's a kid in a land where dragons, it's not like dragons are all monsters in this world. They are prestigious. They are royalty. And so in the lore, and so his ambitions are to be this dragon. He thinks he's already there. He's got a big, pretend idea of what the dragon should be. And he's going to be that one day. And like, that's so cute to me. And then the comment on Twitter said, do they not know how to make monsters anymore? Or can they never make monsters? And like, dude, we have Aatrox, we have Scion, we have Mundo, we have Neferi. We just got Neferi. She's brand new. And so is Belveth. And these are all monsters. What are you talking about? They don't know how to make monsters. Can't we have a cute dragon for once? Jesus Christ, give me this one thing.
Look. I'm fine with the cute thing. Like they did Yumi, and a lot of people got upset about Yumi. And I was like, yeah, Yumi's fine. It's a cat, bro. It's fine. But like I said, the aesthetic I'm not necessarily opposed to. I think the face just completely ruins the design.
I will give you that the face is a little weird in some of these poses.
Yeah, I think they needed to go.
You know what?
This one, the spiral route.
I'm gonna pull this up. This one is where I'm with you 100%. At least with the face, just with the face.
Yeah, the rest of it, I mean, yeah, he looks like a dragon. It's fine. He looks like, he looks like a little boy.
He does look like a Nunu. It looks like old Nunu?
Yeah, old Nunu turned into a kind of dragon. Yeah.
If you literally circle that face, you could literally put that on old Nunu. Because old Nunu wasn't like a kid. Old Nunu was like a weird, like old man or something, like a Yordle old man.
Something like that. And so, I just think that I think the entire face needs to get redesigned. I don't think that it even like really fits with their kind of aesthetic. I mean, I guess it kind of fits with Yumi, but again, Yumi's a cat, literally a cat, not a cat humanoid, a cat.
Yeah, this is what his face actually looks like. It's old Nunu.
Literally, dude, that literally looks like him. He looks like a little boy, but looks old.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I get that. That picture did. This, or not that one, the other one, but yeah.
So here's the hoping that they change the look of him, because I think he just looks atrocious. Just because it's uncanny. Holy shit. It's literally the same character. That was my hater minute.
I'm okay with that hater minute because we all get one, and I get like 5 every episode, so I think that we can get into those. So I'm with it. I see what you're saying. I do love, like, I haven't finished watching My Hero Academia, but everyone told me that Midoriya, the main character, is annoying. I didn't agree with that. I mean, he's a little whiny, but the beginning is so sweet where he looks up to All Might. He loves what he does for the world, and he wants to be like that one day. And I'm like, this dude isn't whiny. He's a kid who wants to he has dreams and ambitions, and I see myself in kids like that. So I think it's really sweet.
Yeah, like I said, story-wise, I'm totally fine with everything he's got going on. I think that's fine. I'm fine with that kind of like Pixar approach where I want to be a real dragon or something like that.
Yeah,
like, that's
I love
fine.
it. I'm sold.
Yeah, that's cute. That's fine. Just please, for the love of God, change his face. Please.
Okay, that's fair.
Change his face.
That's fair.
I don't want to look at this dragon boy. All right, it's just weird. And other than that, that's basically all I got. The only
that's all I got. So I do want to. I want to hear your final, your announcement and what's going on with that, because
I've got a damage check announcement. Everybody, you asked for it. You asked for the audio versions to be on audio services, and we have decided to do such thing. Not that it was really a choice. We were going to do it anyways, but we finally did it. I finally got around to doing it. So you should be able to find all of them on Spotify right now. Other services should be coming up. Under damage check, you can find us. SEO is really good. As soon as you type in damage check, we're right there. Other services should be going up nowish to by Monday.
And also, if you guys do want to help out our SEO on YouTube, if you type in damage check, we are the first ones. But the more you do that, and the more, if you do like Google damage check podcast, stuff like that, if you find us through Google, that actually helps our SEO because it'll start pushing us towards the top. So if you want to find us, maybe Google or YouTube us and then click those links instead of going directly to our channel. That does help.
Yeah, make it trend, baby. Make it trend. So yeah, you should be able to find us, no problem. And make sure you guys follow, rate, all that kind of stuff. That would definitely help us out a lot in getting the word out. So yeah, that's damage check announcement. I don't think I have any other damage check announcements. I think that was the main one. So yeah, we're on services now. It's going to be awesome. Go check it out. I also wanted to announce that on my personal side, the Fjord side, I'm getting back into streaming. I'm starting streaming starting tomorrow. You can find me. What time? Be around my stream around like 3 Mountain Time. I'm still working out what exactly the time schedule is going to be, but you guys will be able to catch me streaming Fridays and Sundays. Saturdays are for damage check. Maybe every once in a while afterwards of damage check, I might stream. I might even do that today in like an hour or so. We'll kind of see. But yeah, you guys can find me at Fjord on Twitch. So go ahead and give me a follow, and I will be streaming again. And that means we're getting back to Final Fantasy, which means we're getting back to doing the video essays and doing all that kind of stuff on the Final Fantasies.
He's also ES Fjord on YouTube as well.
ES Fjord on YouTube as well. And so, yeah, I'm very excited to get back into it. I owe a lot of it to this handsome boy that is to my right, your left. He has helped me a lot. And in fact, getting this camera kind of worked out and helping me kind of upgrade my stream as it is. It's kind of giving me the boost that I need to get back into it. So I'm very excited. I hope to see you guys all there. It's going to be a fantastic time. We're going to probably replay from the beginning Final Fantasy IV because it's been so long. I only vaguely remember what happened. So we're probably going to restart that, and then we'll just keep on going.
I'll be there.
Hell yeah, buddy.
All right.
And that's all I got. Those are my announcements.
My only announcement is HP will be back starting next Tuesday, hopefully. If I don't, then you'll see me Wednesday, but I should be back normal schedule, as always, Tuesday. Sea of Stars, we're going to do it till we beat it, and then we're playing right into Prince of Persia.
Let's go. Dude, I'm so excited. So excited. Sea of Stars is going to be great. It's going to end
and
great.
That's a game that we can actually play somewhat alongside each other, and we can talk back on Damage Check. So I'll report back 100%. Next week what we get.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, guys.
Everybody.
That's all we got. That's about it. And we'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.